So you're happy with this grid view application. This is a beautiful UI application. We memorized the adapters, the custom adapters, array lists, and model classes. And also we'll learn about the grid view. Now in this video, we'll add the functionality to our application. So we'll add the calculations, and the app will perform the calculations for the different shapes. We have two ways of applying the calculations. The first one, creating a separate activity for every shape to perform calculations. For example, for the sphere, I create activity sphere and perform the calculations, getting the pi, radius, and perform the calculation of the volume. Also for the cylinder and so on for all the available shapes. The second way is to create one activity but containing all fields for radius of the sphere, for the side of the cube, for length, width, height of the rectangular prism, and the radius and height of the cylinder. Then we disable the edit text or the fields when the user, for example, select the sphere. We disable the radius of the cylinder, the height of the cylinder, the width, height, and length of the cube or the prism. So we enable only the specific dimensions, the specific characteristics of this specific shape or the selected shape. To make it simple, I'll create 4 activities. Every shape will make its own calculations. I'll go to here. I'll create a new empty views activity, and I'll start with the sphere finish. And this is a new activity because I need to direct the user to it to enter the sphere dimensions, and we need to perform the calculation of the volume of this sphere. So activity sphere, this is the layout. I'll start designing the layout. I'll add a background, back to drawable, and here I'll assign it. I'll create a title for the sphere activity. I'll create a text view. I'll drag it to here, infer the constraints, and I'll add gravity center. The volume of sphere can be calculated using the following formula. V equal 4/3 times pi times r cube. Pi is 3.14159. It's a constant. V is the volume of the sphere, and r is the radius of the sphere. I need to create only one edit text that gets from the user the radius of this sphere. So for that, I'll use edit text, match parent wrap content, hint, please enter the radius. I'll drag this edit text to here and infer the constraints. I'll give an ID, edit text, sphere. And I need to create a text view that displays the results. So I'll drag and drop this result to here, infer the constraints, and I'll add padding or margin. Then I'll add this constraint to this. So this is our activity, sphere activity. I'll initialize the widgets. Also, I need to add a button to allow the user to click it and perform the calculations. So I'll go to this activity and I'll create button, wrap content, ID. I'll drag and drop it to here and infer the constraints. Sphere activity, initialize it. Alt plus enter to import the package. If you have like these errors, please make a clean project. Now, I'll add the functionality to this button, set on click listener, new view on click listener, and I'll get the data from the user the data represents the radius of the sphere. So string radius equal sphere radius EditText dot get text dot to string, and I need to transform the string into an int in order to make the calculations. And in order to transform a string into an int, we need to store it inside an int variable called r. Use integer dot parse int, and I need to pass the radius here. So the parse int is a part of integer class, which is a wrapper class for primitive int values. If we keep it as a string, it will not perform any mathematical calculations. We need to transform it into integer in order to make these calculations. And the volume of the sphere is 4/3 times pi times a radius cube. So I'll create a double volume equal to 4/3 times pi, which is 3.14159 approximately, times the radius r cube, r times r times r, which is r cube. Okay, then we need to display this volume. I need to display it in this result text. I'll set result equal or set text v equal to volume plus, and I'll add meter cube. Save the project and run the application. But before we run, there is no way to navigate to this activity, to the sphere activity. I need to go to the main activity, add the click event for the sphere item. I'll use grid view dot set on click listener on item click listener, new view on click listener, and on item click method is override. We talked about this listener in the previous videos, so please guys refer to the adapters section, to the list view section, and memorize them well and understand them well, because these are very important sections to understand the adapters and custom adapters and how we deal with them. Create an intent because I need to navigate to another activity. So intent I equal to new intent, and I need to pass this as the context of the current application, and the second application that I need to go is called the sphere.class. This I can replace it with get application context that returns the context object. Then I need to use start activity method and pass the intent I. Run again, and here we go. Let me click on the sphere, and you can see it's directed to the sphere activity. Enter the radius. I need to enter 12, for example. I need to change it in the here. I need to change the edit text color to white. Run the activity again. This is how I test my real applications. 12, and you can see it's in white. Calculate volume, and V equal 5428, and this number meter cube.